this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Reading Time with Jarvis. I'm your host. I almost said co-host because I co-hosted The Perfect RA with Micah, but these episodes are mine to do alone. But I'm the host of Reading Time with Jarvis, where I highlight some of my favorite books out of the hundreds that I've read over my career. And today's book, The War of Art, not to be confused with The Art of War, but The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, is one of the very few books that I read every single year, sometimes multiple times a year. This book is a very easy read. And at first, I thought it was not applicable to financial advisors because he's speaking specifically to artists. But we are practicing a form of art. More importantly, all people, all humans are faced by what Steven Pressfield calls resistance. This is the force, be it evil or the universe or just human nature, that keeps us from achieving our true potential, that keeps us from realizing the goals that we've set out. How this demonstrates itself for financial advisors, this is when we say, hey, I want to implement the Center of Influence campaign that's worked so well in my office. We say, hey, we want to implement it, and then we don't actually call any of the CPAs or attorneys in our area. Or we say, hey, I want to reach out to all my clients every calendar quarter, but we never pick up the phone because instead we need to read the Wall Street Journal or do whatever other avoidance activity is there. This book, in addition to being very practical and very easy to read, is also very personal to Steven Pressfield. He talks at length at his own struggles of becoming a successful artist, how he had what we would deem failure after failure after failure before producing some absolute literary masterpieces that I'm sure you've read or watched and not realized were written by Steven Pressfield. So a couple of takeaways. Takeaway number one, activity should be viewed as success, and success should be ignored. Where is this applicable? This is applicable when you say, I want to call 10 centers of influence. Perfect. Calling the 10 centers of influence is victory. Even if all 10 of them say you should crawl under a rock and die because I hate financial advisors, no problem. My goal was to contact 10 of them. Now, I definitely want to work on improving my skill set so that more of them say yes. But if all 10 of them say no, I still won because I took the activity. Steven talks about this in the idea for authors of writing for the wastebasket, that every single day you want to write out a whole page and just write total garbage, write the worst stuff you can so you can throw it away. We spend so much time, and I spent so much time in my career saying, hey, I'll make that center of influence call when I have my script perfect. I'll make that call when it's the right day, the right temperature, whatever it is. And I never made those calls until I finally broke down and just said, hey, my goal is to make one of these calls every single day, no matter what. A friend of mine in one of my masterminds, he makes 10 cold calls every single day. Why? He already has a wildly successful practice. Why? Because it keeps him sharp. It keeps him hungry. He makes those every single day, doesn't care about the end outcome. Takeaway number two, all forms of procrastination, anything that's keeping you from that activity that we just outlined. Let's go again with Center of Influence calls. Anything and everything that keeps you from that is procrastination, and it is deadly and it is killing your success. How do you solve that? The way that you solve that is you say, hey, the very first thing I do when I walk in the office in the morning is to call my center of influence. Nothing happens before that. I don't turn on my computer. I don't check my email. An extreme version of this that I even used at one time is before I would leave home, the office at night, I would physically print the 4 people I needed to call when I came into the office the next morning. And I could do nothing, not even turn on my computer until I made those 4 phone calls, because I knew that as soon as I turned on my computer, I would get distracted and I could magically spend the entire day procrastinating away, playing office, doing things that felt important, but were keeping me from what would really get me to my goals. Takeaway number 3, the way is hard for all of us. I know that sometimes Micah and I give this illusion that we're just kind of skipping to work and that we've got here, that we were at the top to begin with. That is absolutely not the case. We both had to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind to build our respective practices, as did every single other person in every field. There's only one way to the top, and it is incredibly difficult to get there. But if you keep grinding, if you keep doing the activity that you need to do, you will get there. Absolutely, positively guaranteed you will get there. And if you don't do the work, absolutely, positively guarantee you will never get there. So The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, one of the few books I read again and again every year. And in the immortal words of Nacho Libre, go go away, read some books.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife. The perfect RIA, the perfect